Hey, good Wednesday. Welcome in, everyone. It is Dom time, 12:30. Can hardly wait to talk with the police commissioner over in Camden because they're making tremendous news around how well they're fighting crime. But one of the things we've talked about, it's been ferocious. They rely on, well, the in the one article I have of the commissioner, he wants to have 1,000 cameras monitoring Camden, and I'm not on that side on it. I get all the back and forth. It's a fascinating thing, and we're seeing it play out right here. They do a lot of other things, though, too, that are largely effective. Why can't we do them in Philadelphia? Of course, is one of the questions. But yesterday, we saw Democrats just blatantly, and I want to play that Megan Kinkhead, Dan, here. I think it's cut 2 or 3. Yesterday in Harrisburg, Democrats, and they got 2 Republicans who were afraid, under the guise of we don't want to discriminate against people who are gay, transgender, the usual alphabet. They passed a bill that, as I see it, and as Republicans see it, and we hope to talk with Martina White, will force doctors into doing so-called gender-affirming care, will force religious institutions essentially to shut their doors or to give in to any number of things in this that would go against, I think, their moral, ethical, religious principles. That would put men in kids and women's sports. That would, in addition to all that, put unisex bathrooms or males and female bathrooms. Yes, that's what they did yesterday in the House. We talked about this. Now, here's one of the proponents. They're denying that all that will happen. But listen to this Representative Kincaid, spells it in a weird way other than Kincaid, from Pittsburgh. She got it said during the hearings on this of exactly what this bill would do. And I agree with her. She got it said. She said the quiet part out loud. Listen to Kincaid.
When we talk about are physicians going to be required to do X, Y, Z? Yes. If it does no harm, if it in fact helps people. And when we deny gender affirming care to people who do not identify with the gender that they were assigned at birth, that is causing harm. And absolutely, we should be holding the doctors accountable who will deny life-saving care to people. We have on this committee consistently talked about preemption when it comes to guns. And we don't want this patchwork of laws all over our state. Because what if you go to one municipality and you're not allowed to have your gun, and you go to another municipality and you are? What if you go to one municipality and you are safely allowed to be exactly who you are, and you walk across the border to a municipality where you are not? This is ridiculous. People deserve to be protected, and that is all that we are doing. We are not creating new and special rights. We are saying that LGBTQIA plus people matter. They matter as much as women. They matter as much as people with disabilities. They matter as much as colored folks, as people of color. They matter as much
wait
as
a minute there.
cis-het white men. They matter.
Whoa, what the heck was that, Kincaid? Whoa. My goodness. This is what we're facing. This woman, Helen Gim, they're the face of it. This is what you're going to face every day. Are you up to battle with these folks? Well, these 2 Republicans, none from this area, were not. She got it said there. She told you what's in this bill, particularly for doctors. Can you imagine in doctors, in Pennsylvania, we're going to criminalize doctors?
They matter as much as colored folks, as people of color.
Yeah, keep that, Kincaid. Let's get this woman going on the show, Dan. Tell her, fly to Pittsburgh to do the interview. My God, give me 10 minutes here. God knows what she might call me. That's what they did in Harrisburg in the House yesterday. We hope to speak with Martina White. They're in session, and she's got a lot of stuff, but maybe we'll be able to lay that out for you better through her eyes. That's what they want. And a couple of Republicans crumpled. Now, look, I usually don't do this, Dan. I think I sent it to you. It's so important to stop them to take over the majority. I have an emissary, an ambassador out there in Delaware County, Bill Lawrence, who's a great guy, listener, podcaster, website, who is entreating as we speak Katie Ford to come on the show. Because if she wins in Drexel Hill, that district, remember the Zabel guy who got caught up going after women and all? If she wins, they take back the majority. Do you hear a lot about it? It's around the corner, the election on this. Look at what they're doing. Look at what Democrats do when they have a bare majority. They're rolling right across. They're shoving everything aside, everything imaginable. All right? Imagine doctors. They won't engage in what I believe and you may believe is genital mutilation, among other things. Savagery here. Go somewhere else then, lady. I guess there are plenty of doctors over at Children's Hospital, sadly, and there's one in Pittsburgh that will do this. Go there. Why are you bothering these others? Because it's not about not discriminating. It's about shoving it down your throat. That's exactly what happened here. All right, 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. You just push pound 1210. Now, I just got word, you won't hear it in the media yet. As you know, Larry Krasner was impeached and still is impeached. And in my mind, I hope to make it forever. In my obituary and his obituary, Dom Giordano, who got Larry Krasner impeached. Yeah, what will the first line in the obituary say?
I would love that.
Yes, that's what I want, Ro. Don't you want something nice? That is nice. That's what I want.
A dark topic to be discussing.
Oh, yes. Well, but you got to think ahead. You know, God knows what the Inquirer will do. 4-page spread. He once said, all right, so Larry Krasner doesn't give up. I admire that. He's out of control. He is fighting the impeachment. And a good guy, Kevin Doherty, the brother of Johnny Doc, and this is just breaking from the inside, has recused himself before the Pennsylvania Supreme Court on their hearing to determine whether or not Larry Krasner was appropriately impeached legally. Okay? So I don't know the votes on this, how it will come down, because Doherty could have stayed in there. Krasner wanted him out. Why? Because Kevin Doherty had the courage in the Supreme Court around Officer Parnell. Remember him? That Krasner put through the ringer for 3 or 4 years, allegedly lied to the grand jury and all that stuff. And Kevin Doherty wrote the opinion by name. As I understand it, they routinely don't do that. And he recused himself because he, I guess, thinks what he said is, even though I could be unbiased in this, I don't want it to be the appearance. You see what guys like Krasner do? If I were Kevin Doherty, I don't care if you hold me hostage. I'm not recusing myself. All right? If I'm lying there in the gutter and they're giving me the last rites, I don't recuse myself. I want it on the record. I voted to impeach Krasner. And I like to vote a second time to impeach him. Are those your dying words? You got it. Give me liberty or give me death and impeach Larry Krasner.
Give me impeachment.
Give me impeachment. So I get it. Kevin Doherty, good guy. This is just breaking, but this is how Krasner operates. It must be under his skin, as I'm hoping it is, tremendously, that Larry, you're impeached. You may be running wild, but you have been impeached. All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. Here is a little bit. I want to play cut 13. All right. Tucker Carlson, much in the news again today. All right. There's several videos Fox is leaking out. Fox apparently, as far as I can tell, has the right to his broadcast right now. In other words, he's not been fired by Fox. He's been laid off forever, okay? And he can't do anything else, or I'm not sure what he can do or not do, if you're wondering why hasn't somebody signed him yet. Okay. Listen to this from Anderson Cooper with Abby Grossberg. Abby Grossberg is the booker who went rogue and has the lawsuit against the Tucker Carlson show. And listen to Abby tell Tucker Carlson tell CNN last night what Carlson was planning on doing to make Kevin McCarthy do the right thing, in my view. Remember that whole 2 weeks they were going back and forth about holding his feet to the fire? Now, I think they effectively have done it. We're getting into the throes of the debt ceiling. June 1st is when all this could come down. And McCarthy has stood strong, and Biden is asked to meet with him now. I wouldn't say it's a cave-in by Biden, but it's a bit of a cave-in. So listen to Grossberg, and you tell me. I commend Tucker Carlson for this. All right. We try to do it with public officials, particularly Republicans. We want to hold their feet to the fire. Where else do you go if they won't listen to what they said they would do if elected? All right. Here's what she told Anderson Cooper.
I mean, they believed that he could broker who was Speaker, House Speaker. He wanted to do that
Wrong with
live on
that?
air, but Kevin McCarthy said no.
What do you mean he wanted to do that live on air?
His plan was to have Kevin McCarthy come on the show, according to Justin Wells revealed this grand plan to us. Tucker, a few days earlier, had sort of set some terms for McCarthy, which included this church kind of committee that he said about, I think this was about January 5th. So about January 2nd, he said, you should have this church committee. So fast forward to January 5th, they start asking me to book McCarthy on the show that night. I had worked with him a lot when I was at Sunday Morning Futures and had a relationship with his team. That afternoon, Justin came in and he said, here's the plan. Tucker's going to first have Kevin on, hear him beg and grovel. Then we'll bring in Matt Gaetz, and Matt Gaetz will then kind of set his terms. Then Tucker will set his terms that McCarthy has to agree to.
Tucker Carlson had terms that
Had
McCarthy
terms, yeah,
had
had terms. And we're going to make this whole thing happen on air and save the Republican Party. Now, fortunately, for McCarthy's sake, he said no. But he did call Tucker the next day from his office with Representative Thomas Massey and had agreed to some of Tucker's terms, according to a text that Tucker had sent me. And he said that was a win.
Yes, it is. Tell me what in the world is wrong with this, with what Carlson was doing here. 855-839-1210. I do know about the other thing that he put out that had racial implications about an Antifa creep being beaten. But in the middle of that, after what he said, I don't want to be part of that. I don't want to wish, even though inside I'm churning saying pummel him. I realize that's wrong. So this is what Fox is engaged in now, what they're leaking out. But Anderson Cooper, oh my God, he would hold Kevin McCarthy's feet to the fire. Isn't that exactly, as a Tucker fan or viewer, isn't that exactly what you wanted him to do? Isn't that you want, particularly with Republicans? You're not going to hold Democrats' feet to the fire in any of this stuff. But Republicans, like these two yesterday that voted, how would they like it if they're a doctor and they don't want involved in genital mutilation? And that Kincaid woman who can't get her person of color straight tells us that, yeah, we're going to go after them if they don't follow what we tell them to do. And
They matter as much as women. They matter as much as people with disabilities. They matter as much as colored folks, as people of color.
Colored folks, just
Great
because she
drop.
put the folks in. What era are we in with that Kincaid woman? Are we back in the 50s or is it the 40s?
Democrats showing their true colors. here.
Yeah, I wish the camera could pan to
As
some of the
much as
African.
colored folks.
Yeah, pan to the
people of
African American
They
Democrats.
matter
there.
as much as cis-het white men.
Oh, yes. All right. She got it said. You got to love that. Helen Gim picked up another endorsement, the big guy, Now, I'm not bothered by him, but it just shows you, is Karl Marx going to be resurrected and give the endorsement to Helen Gim next? Bernie Sanders endorsed just about an hour
Bernie
ago.
got in on
Bernie
Philadelphia
got in on this.
politics.
He can sniff a winner.
Bernie and the Hulk.
Right. He can tell that Helen Gim can run Philadelphia, just like AOC and Jane Fonda.
Yeah.
And we're waiting on other endorsements from around the world.
There's the Bible way, and then there's another way.
All right. It's 855-839-1210. Let me give you the side question out of left field today. Just saw this one. Dan and I talked it up yesterday. It might be kind of nuts. We've never done this before. I think we've done a dog. We've done a cat. We've never asked for the all-time bird.
Yeah.
One of my favorite films
great bird.
is The Birds. There's so many scenes I have the dialogue memorized.
Are you going to take the birds from the birds?
Yeah, I'm going to take all the birds from the birds, but I'm going to take off Daffy Duck, an obvious one.
Oh, Daffy Duck is a bird.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
And my favorite bird may be the Roadrunner.
Okay.
So this can be a fictional one. It can be a real bird.
I'm sorry. There are a lot of real famous birds, like
Yes.
actual real ones.
Yes.
I think that's some extra credit there. If anyone give us an actual real bird that's become famous.
Yes.
I'm going to take off a serial bird. How about a Toucan Sam, Dom?
There you go.
Yeah.
Take Toucan off. So you can give us real ones. You can give us fictional. It doesn't matter. That's the side question today. We'll see how it goes. I don't know why I'm shaky with this. I thought it was rather clever.
I think it's going to be a fun
it's
one.
outside the box. It's a fun one. 855-839-1210.
Who's a famous bird? Is
Yes.
that what we're going to do? All
Yep.
right. Who's a famous bird?
All right. So coming up, Bernie endorses. RFK Jr. talks about two people he would pardon if elected. It's a smart strategy if you're doing what he's doing. You say, these people, I'll give you who they are coming up. If I'm elected, I'm going to pardon these people. It's a smart strategy because they have a lot of followers, and it fits with his type of campaign. But get in right now, 855-839-1210. Sure.
I just feel this is a Mount Rushmore answer. If we're going to take Daffy Duck off, I think we also need to take Donald Duck off the board.
Okay. Yes, of course.
Yeah. Someone calls him Donald
I like
Duck.
Daffy Duck better, but yes.
Do you?
Yes.
Better than Donald?
Oh, Daffy Duck is it. Yeah. And in addition to that, when you call, just don't blurt out the name, say a bird and go off into the night. Give us a little bit of color. Give us a little bit of.
Give us an impression.
Yes, give us an impression. Give us
Can you do Daffy Duck?
I don't think I can do Daffy Duck.
I can't either.
Yeah. Give us an impression why you were thinking of that one. That would be good.
Jim, do you know Daffy or Donald Duck?
Can you do that, Jim?
Jim?
Hey, screening calls, I think. Yeah.
Nope.
All right. We'll get it at some point in the show. I'm excited to bring you the police chief in Camden. They're getting real results. But I think they make it, in addition to community policing and all that, they're monitoring their cops. They know where they are every second. And he wants to put in, I think they have 300 police cameras. He wants to put in 1,000 in a city the size of Camden. Wow. All right. But they're getting results, big results. I don't think they're fictional at all. It's working. 855-839-1210. There we go. Whatever happened to her. Don't forget, Dining with Dom going on right now every day, noon till 1. And Minnie's got quite a spread that she has up on Twitter. Where do people go, Dan?
YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. Please do us a favor, like and subscribe. We're really trying to build out that YouTube page. And we're there, as Dom just said, every day at noon. And what's happening? You've heard it before on the show, but a discussion's now brewing between listeners. Friends are being made, and a community that you're missing out on if you're not out there watching us on YouTube for that 12 o'clock hour. So please at least check it out once. Go like and subscribe. YouTube.com/@1210WPHT, and check Dom and I out as a video rather than just audio.
There you go. Happening every day, noon until 1. All right, you got the side question at the end of your call. Told you about that House bill yesterday where doctors would be criminals if they don't go along with this nonsense with minors. Wow. And I played you the Tucker Carlson, the one interview yesterday with Anderson Cooper. Yeah, that's what we want Tucker Carlson to do with McCarthy, hold his feet to the fire. Now, I'm not a fan of Matt Gaetz, let's face it. He's not the best there. We like Scott Perry, who we have on, a few others, Chip Roy, people like that. But they got it done, and it seems as if McCarthy's going to hold firm on the big test, the debt ceiling. And I even have a cut here from MSNBC. This is Alex Wagner, female, cut 9, saying that the GOP, she says, gaslighting is working because when asked, who would you blame if the debt default happens? Listen to what she said.
Their extreme policies made our economy a mess.
Sorry, first, I have on here the ad that's being put out there.
Okay.
Hoping to change the narrative.
Now they refuse to responsibly raise the debt ceiling. Instead of negotiating common sense solutions, they're putting the American economy in crisis. Shame on liberals in Congress. Tell them to stop playing partisan games.
That ad, which was made by the House Republican-aligned American Action Network, that ad is part of the group's new 6-figure ad buy, and it's running commercials like those in the districts of 11 vulnerable House Democrats. And I know, to anyone who has been following the debt ceiling fights over the past decade, that ad feels like madness. It feels like you have been plunged into opposite land. But the GOP gaslighting seems to be working. This is a new poll from Morning Consult and Politico. It shows that most voters, 37%, would blame both parties equally if the U.S. defaulted on its national debt. Only 24% of voters would blame Republicans for a crisis that is literally manufactured by Republicans. And 30% of voters would blame Democrats.
Uh-oh. How's that happening here? All right, so maybe Democrats will be thinking about that a little bit more. I know every time this happens, when the government shuts down or it's a debt default battle, Republicans have to crumple because they start to see that the media has gotten people against them. They're afraid Social Security checks won't come out, that kind of thing. Wagner seems a little bit disturbed there. So are they playing this better? That they're not going to give in on this unless there are significant spending cuts. That's what the deal is. It's a pretty simple deal. And Tucker Carlson getting Kevin McCarthy in line is exactly what he should be doing. Let's go to Donna in Maryland to start off here on the Dom Show. Hey, Donna, thank you for the wait. Go right ahead.
Hi, I was just listening yesterday and today, and you were talking about how they want to make transgender or identity a protected class, and that then the Catholic schools or the private schools would be forced to allow these students to not only enter if it's a boys' school, girls' school, but also participate in sports. So if that does happen, what's to make them not go forward and say every Catholic church now must allow transgender or identity changing priests or deacons participate, or you're not allowed to have a license of some capacity or receive any monies whatsoever. What's to stop them from saying you can't practice your religion this way anymore if this continues?
Well, the only thing I would say is this. I wouldn't say that's going to happen anytime soon, like say what's in a year, but you're right. Incrementally, it could build up to exactly that. But what we do know will happen, you heard that woman Kincaid, they're going to go after doctors, female
Right.
sports,
Right.
bathrooms. Uh, Ultimately, though, you're right. Now, somebody will try it. You would think that would be death for Democrats politically to be behind that. But Donna, down the road, incrementally, anything's possible with this. I think to me, the big thing here is not even the religious freedom. It's telling doctors they could, as she said, be held criminally liable if they won't go along with this.
Well, then they wouldn't practice in that state. I mean, my husband's a doctor. I'm
Okay.
a physician assistant. He is not in that capacity as emergency medicine, but still, the doctors will not go into primary care. They won't go into pediatrics. They'll go into a situation where they are not forced to do that. And then again, more decline of having a family doctor or pediatrician or
Yeah,
they'll
exactly.
have a great effect on that.
Yeah, exactly. Donna, do you have a bird for us today for the side question?
Well, you got me thinking about the little nephews, the Huey, Louie, and Dewey's, and they're fun to watch, and they always get in trouble, but they're always loved.
All right.
That's
Thank
a
you,
great
Donna.
answer.
Great call from Maryland here with Donna. By the way, this is too good to check out. I'm not going to check out. Sergeant Mark Fisetta put up on Twitter, because I don't doubt this. Speaking of Larry Krasner, remember this story? Remember the dad asked to be on the station, called me. The woman over in Center City, Philadelphia, that was beaten by a gang of kids within an inch of her life, lying unconscious there, right in Center City, Philadelphia. I don't know if it was 15th or 13th or a little bit lower. And the dad came on to talk about it. They caught those kids. Sergeant Mark says when the father spoke to the Krasner's office, an unnamed assistant district attorney asked the family if they'd take a written apology instead of charging the kids. She was more worried about ruining their lives than the victim. Notice, well, they're only kids. You don't want to ruin the rest of their life, do you? How about a written apology? Wow. Now, does that seem in concert with what goes on over in Krasner land? Yeah, I think it does. All right, coming up, honored to bring you somebody's having real success. The police commissioner in Camden. One story yesterday, Camden police, once flawed, now seen as international best practices. 10th anniversary of the county-run department happened on Monday. The only thing is, I want to know several things, like how are they able to get cops? In addition to that, what's up with all the cameras? How does that work? All right, this is a big interview of a place that is actually successful at this point. And I'll take your calls on it afterwards at 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is just push pound 1210. Hey, are you tired of paying too much? Rescue Natural Supplements are rolling back prices to 2013 on top of Memorial Savings. That's all month long. That's right. For the entire month of May, you can buy 2 products, get 1 free, or buy 3 products and get 2 free on every single rescue supplement. Combine decade-old rollback prices with free bottles for those huge savings. Stock up on all your favorites, 1210, 1250 omegas, cholesterol supporters, probiotic, brand new health gummies are all on sale. To order, 826 Alive, 800-262-5483. Speak to a rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com. res-q.com. Don't miss out on this opportunity to save big. Rescue has over 50 products to target your health goals, and everything is on sale. Rollback prices and memorial deals start now and last through the end of the month. Just go to res-q.com. res-q.com. When you walk through the garden, gotta watch your back. Well, I beg your pardon. Hey, welcome in, everyone. Dom Giordano's show. Fascinating what's going on. And you know that I taught in Camden, know Camden pretty well. And it's remarkable. Headline, Neil Borowski, tap into Camden, his website. Camden police once flawed, now seen as international best practice. Wow. Joining us is Gabriel Rodriguez, the Camden County Police Chief on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Chief, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Now, did you grow up in Camden and come up through the ranks there?
Born and raised in Camden City, and then I joined the police department in January 2003
Okay.
as an officer of the old city force. And we know the story that transition from Camden City to Camden County occurred in 2013.
All right. I taught in the Camden public schools, and I had a kid on probation, seventh grader, who ran a motorcycle one day through the hallway. So
It's not shocking. That's not shocking to hear.
I know. I read your little bio too about you cutting yourself, playing in a dirty lot there, etc. But somehow or another, Camden is really moving forward now. We'll get to the community policing part. First question I have, because I'm from a cops family, people, chief in the family of the police, up and down the line. How are you getting and retaining cops? What's the secret sauce? Can we borrow some of it in Philadelphia?
Yeah, it's the greatest challenge. Not only in Philadelphia, we're still having those same challenges here. But I've made sure to push hard on recruitment. We created a brand new recruitment unit here. We're in high schools. We're in all the local colleges. We're at every community event we consider a recruitment event, because my goal, of course, is to continue to diversify our agency as best as possible to reflect our community. So at every single event, I don't care if it's a bingo for seniors or something for the youth, we are trying to recruit at every event, every single day.
Now, a lot of strategy goes into this. What is community policing mean to Chief Rodriguez? You just talked about all the events you're at, but it seems like you get a lot of good information from the community there.
Yeah, community policing is not just us working with them. It's us all together as one team. We call it here Team Camden. This is not a me thing. This is a we thing. That's what our mayor, Victor Starkin, frequently says. And it's really about working with the community hand in hand, the clergy, the youth, the business owners, everyone, the visitors when they're here, communicating and hearing what their needs are, them telling us where they want us to be and what they want us to do, and try to get better every day at it.
Now, I'm on board with all that you've done. It's a smashing success, but the camera thing gets me. When I read in the one, and I get it was in a column on illegal dumping, that you said something to the effect you'd like to have 1,000 police cameras in Camden. Talk about that trade-off to some degree of not being monitored all the time.
So, the question's frequently asked at community events, other media events that I'm at, do our residents, this is something that they think is an invasion of their privacy. And it's quite the opposite. Everyone I speak to, they want a camera on their block. They know it's a force multiplier. They know it's a deterrent. And we want people to know that we have cameras out, and where you don't see a police officer, we're still watching. We have a command center here that operates 24/7. And we have folks that are monitoring those cameras real time every single day. And there's been some great results from that as well. And that's something that we don't keep a secret. We want people to know we're watching. As far as the illegal dumping, we want people to know that Camden City is no longer your trash can, and that we're going to reach that mark hopefully one day.
So, Chief, as far as what I know, Camden, and when you took over, or 10 years ago, certainly, I could understand why people wanted a force multiplier, as you said. I wonder, though, if as things get better, they want that level of surveillance. Do you think that will prevail?
I hope we get to there one day. I hope we get to a place where we need no cameras. But right now we do, and right now it's helping.
Dirt bikes. Do you have that kind of problem in Camden, and how do you deal with it?
Yeah, it is a very significant problem. Luckily, we've been able to work with our legislators here in New Jersey. Assemblyman Spearman helped me out while we created and Senator Nelson Cruz Perez, creating a new law where if you're riding a dirt bike here, we're gonna of course try to get it, and when we get it, you're not gonna get it back. That's the message, and it's kind of slow things down, but it's a challenge. It really is. But at least now we're equipped with the power. Your bike can be registered, insured, but you're riding it in our streets, you're not going to get it back. And that's helped us a bit.
Now, the argument in Philadelphia, though, is if police give chase to one of these people on a dirt bike, do you give chase? Because then you put people at risk of them fleeing. I don't buy it. I think you got to stop this. But what do you say?
We kind of have to follow the same rules. We cannot pursue them. The risk of injury to them or someone else, it's overwhelming. But with our great relationships with our community, we often get the phone call. Okay, this is where they're storing them, or this is where they're going to be meeting, or this is where they're gassing them up, and we can prepare appropriately to take them down.
We're talking with Camden County Police Chief Gabriel Rodriguez. We found something interesting in an interview with you, and I think you said the union signed off on this. That is, where that cop is on patrol at all times. You're monitoring their cell phone?
Yeah. So, when you hear the word micromanage, it's often a word that's not pleasant on the management level, but that's exactly what we do. We know where our officers are every second of the day, so that we're directing them to the appropriate locations to prevent crime from occurring, just occupying space. And that's if you're in a police car, we're tracking you, or if you're on a walking beat or on a bicycle, we're tracking your cell phone.
How many cops do you have, say, on a 24-hour patrolling Camden? And do they come from Camden County? Do they patrol Camden County and Camden? How many do you have, officers?
So we have 431 officers. This is our max we can have here, max power. But currently, on a daily basis, somewhere between 75 and 80 officers. And then that does include our investigative units and other task force that we work with here in the city.
And Commissioner, go ahead.
We only police Camden City. We only patrol in Camden City. But we are a county agency, have outside jurisdiction as well. But Camden City is our focus.
Now, is there a residency requirement you have to be in Camden County?
There is no residency requirement. Of course, my goal is to hire as many from Camden City as possible, and hopefully have a department that continues to be more diverse each day. But with, of course, hiring challenges, we do have the capability to hire from with outside of the city and outside of the county as well.
Do you think what you're doing on Camden, even though it's a city, it's a bit smaller than Philadelphia, could be replicated in a city as big as Philadelphia? The things that we're talking about?
I have a tremendous amount of respect for Philly PD, the commissioner, her command staff. And I know that they're doing tremendous work each and every day fighting to make Philadelphia a safer city. That's what we experienced the same in Camden City. We were the most dangerous city in America, and there's nothing that we're proud of. But I believe that the foundation that we've laid here can work in other cities, big cities, small cities across the country.
Well, I hope that you come over here and start spreading some of that around. I wanted to ask you one critical piece, and I won't drag you into this. I don't do that with a guest, but our DA and I don't see eye to eye on how it's working here. You must have a pretty good DA, though, over in Camden County. You need that. Otherwise, you just have recidivists.
Absolutely. I know that, the partnerships that we have, not only with our prosecutor's office, but with our U.S. attorneys are second to none. And it's important to communicate with them. And we do that on a daily basis to make sure that we not only, remove the bad individuals from the streets of Camden City, but that we also have successful prosecutions so they don't come back out and commit the same crimes. And that communication and that relationship is definitely key.
It doesn't seem, parting question, I keep saying that, apologize, Commissioner, but I'm thinking in my mind, we have Kensington. I taught in Camden, and I've done ride-alongs and things like that. I know what the issues were before you and before the 10 years. Uh, what do you do? What's your sense legally? You have expertise in this. Is it the cameras that you think helps you with notorious drug corners? I mean, I won't say some of them that I've heard over the years. You know about Kensington. There's a whole swath through there that's just an open air drug market. How do you prevent that in Camden?
So it takes three different elements. It's definitely a technology plays part in that. Of course, partnerships. Again, as I mentioned, we have partnerships with all of our federal partners, and we have folks on those task force that focus, have like laser type focus on those biggest fish, so to speak, to dismantle those organizations that are terrorizing the neighborhood. And then, of course, the third thing would be our community relations. It's everything is not a police issue, although everything becomes a police issue. It's you have to build partnerships and get other people involved from within the community. We work here with grassroots organizations. We try to identify these problems and reach out to kids in elementary school, in middle school, and in high school so that we can, keep them on the right track before they become adults, and we're chasing them. So, it's a lot of preventative things. There's a lot of work that has to go into it. We know these problems didn't just start over, last night or yesterday. So it takes time, but it takes investment and consistency.
Well, I think maybe you just said it. My producer, Dan, had a question. People don't want to be seen as a snitch, particularly I taught at the high school level or young adult level, et cetera. How do you deal with that?
So again, you have to build trust with your community. They have to know you by, most of them know me as Gabe. They don't call me Chief. I want them to know me as the person and know that I'm here to help them make their communities better, to improve their quality of life. The issues we still have here, we've had a reduction in homicides close to 70% in the last 10 years. And that's all credited to community relations. The homicides that we still have, we're seeing, prior to this Camden County Police Department, we had an average, solve rate of 16%. Now we're seeing that solve rate jump up to 61%.
Well, wait a minute. Let's slow down, Chief. 61% solving, meaning conviction rate or solving what happens in a homicide.
Yes.
That's got to be in the top 20 cities, I would
Did
think.
you say
Pretty
16% before the 16?
Yeah, 16. I can imagine. I'm surprised it was 16% when I taught in Camden for a year. I was thinking, you might be having a pretty good year if you solve that.
Yeah, in 2020 we had 100% solve rate. So again, that's accredited to the relationships. To people know they can come forward and talk to us, and there's not going to be a retaliation. They're not going to be labeled as that snitch. And because we're working with our seniors and our youth, everyone in between is starting to buy in as well. And we're trying to earn that trust. We don't want it to be given to us, but I think we're headed in the right direction. We have a lot more work to do, but I'm definitely certain that we're doing the right thing.
By all indications, you are. Yes.
Can I ask for clarification, Chief? That 61% number, is that overall crime or is that for homicides?
That is homicides, and overall crime is just below that. It's over 50% for sure.
Gotcha.
Chief, thank you very much. Please, anytime you have something we can help with, you want a platform, we're here. We'd love to have you back.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this time.
All right. Gabriel Rodriguez, police chief in Camden. Now, Dan, I'm still not on the camera side here, but I'll let listeners, but that was persuasive from him. They are getting 61% solve rate is very good.
Yeah.
I don't even know what Philadelphia's is at this point, but it seems like the DA is not Larry Krasner. Oh, there you go, blaming Larry Krasner again.
Yeah.
All right, coming up.
Just on the note of cameras from our debate yesterday. Last night, I spoke to a couple police sources just trying to get some information. And what I discovered is essentially what I heard from Chief here is the justification, and that's kind of where I'm at. But I have not been able to get an answer from a police officer or police official as to the, I don't want to call it this, but the slippery slope argument of, if we do install this, and currently, it'll be used constitutionally, how can police or how can you argue against a federal government that has the power to essentially use those cameras to invade privacy? And I haven't gotten an answer on that. So,
all right. So your call's coming up and the side question, and Newsmax just fires a shot across the bow of Fox News Channel Do I think this will work? It's a big one going after the number one show on Fox, not Tucker, the real number one show. Uh-oh. 855-839-1210. You get a line? Jump in with Dom and Dan here on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, first, let me tell you about my friends over at Martin Water Conditioning because we went through that scare recently. You may remember that the news was don't drink the water, run and get the water now, all that, right? Well, cost of the grocery store are another consideration. That includes bottled water. It really makes you think, is there a better way to ensure your family is drinking clean, pure water? There is. Just do what the Giordano's did. Get a Connecticut water system from Martin Water Conditioning. The Connecticut system removes all the impurities from your water. What comes out of the tap is crystal clear, all natural water. Not only is it the best tasting water ever, it provides peace of mind knowing that your family's water is pure and clean. The Martin Water Conditioning family, passionate about water, they'll put their 46 years of experience to work for you. They leave your house immaculate. They love taking the impurity out of the water and showing you right there. And right now, you get 20% off the installation of a Connecticut system. Just do what I did. Contact Martin Water Conditioning for that free no obligation water test. Visit martinwater.com, martinwater.com, or call 800-887-7555. 800-887-7555. All right, it's the Dom Giordano Show, 855-839-1210. Give me your response and give me your answer to the side question. Tom in Marlton just heard the chief in Camden. What did you think, Tom?
Good afternoon, Dom and Dan. Yeah, very good. I've been going into Camden twice a month for a long, long time for my work, and I can definitely tell you it's definitely getting better. I do feel a little safer when I'm there. Of course, you always still have to watch yourself, but definitely I'm seeing a lot of improvements.
Well, I take that, as it's the eye test, in addition to the evidence of the statistics, Tom. What do you think, though, about the camera part?
Well, I think I'm going to side with Dan on this one a little bit. I don't
Tom
mind.
the Red.
Whoa,
Wait a minute.
I like
Tom
this.
the Red. He was a little bit pink there. I could tell coming into this call. All right, there's his buddy. Birds of a feather flock together
Tom, you have
here.
gone to my top of a
Birds
favorite
of a
caller
feather.
list over
There you
here,
go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think until the crime is really eliminated, which hardly I know. I don't know if we'll ever get there, but I think the more cameras we have at this moment will definitely help.
All right. We'll put you
Deter.
down as that. Tom, who's your bird today?
Well, I'm going to go after that rascally little yellow bird that the cat's always trying to grab, Tweety Bird.
Oh,
Good
that's a
one.
great
All right, that's a great one. That's the side question today. Give me your reaction. Did you soften a little bit hearing the commissioner? And great piece at National Review today about Springsteen's new Glory Days, the anthem of the elite. I didn't know this. I knew that Michelle Obama sang backup, but the wife of Spielberg, too. All right. Blistering attack on this fraud in a way that I've never heard a musical critic write. We'll give you some of that and your calls at 855-839-1210.